Timing is everything. Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, Chip?
What's going on,
man? We spent 2 great days together in Miami with some crowd from the community, which was outstanding. What is XRP? Actually, what is XRP II? I know we've talked about this a lot in the past, or maybe a couple times. Some people don't know what XRP II is, so we'll talk about that a little bit. Now, does a new Financial Services Committee chair and potentially a new SEC change judgment on SEC v. Ripple? And a big question that I'm going to put out there that hopefully we'll have an answer to soon. When stake?
Ooh, I like that question a lot. When stake, as in the bet, as in the bet, settlement or no settlement?
When stake, bone-in ribeye, Mr. B, bone-in ribeye. You ready to kick this thing off?
Guys, let's go. Let's get going.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome on the chain. Jumping right into it, guys. Hit the like, subscribe if you want to have more content like this. And if you don't, keep it to yourself. Don't tell anybody.
Got stuck in traffic on the way in.
Let's keep it to ourselves. So yeah, we're going to go a little bit. We're going to show some photos and stuff if you guys haven't seen it, but we had a great, Jeff and I hung out like for 2 days. We hung out Friday and Saturday.
That was awesome.
With people from the community, man. How great was it just to be out there and talk to people again? It was fantastic.
It's a lot of fun. We had a blast.
It was awesome, man. It was awesome.
A lot of great things, a lot of great topics to cover as well. So we can jump right in. We can kind of jump into what
XRP news first. Let's jump into some XRP stuff here.
Let's do some fun XRP stuff, and then we'll talk about the evenings.
XRP lawsuit. Defense lawyer believes judge in Ripple case will soon deliver one big written ruling. And that is none other than James the Jimmy Filan.
All right. I like that. One big written ruling.
Look at that. Look at how it just fills the screen. Doesn't it look awesome? Isn't it just beautiful?
That's
that a big XRP?
You know what? I like that, the font. That's going to be our next thumbnail.
XRP, baby. Just XRP. That's it. Just rip it right off. Why not? So according to defense lawyer Jimmy Filan, a summary judgment in the SEC Ripple lawsuit might come sooner than expected. And this is good when you get like professional opinion from, either Jimmy Filan, Jeremy Hogan, or of course, John Deaton. But this week, the former federal prosecutor noted, and I like how they do that because also, former federal prosecutor Jimmy Filan, which he has some pretty extensive background, and so does John Deaton as far as federal prosecution, and noted that the judge was likely to consolidate most of the pending issues for determination into one ruling, and the court has to decide on 3 major issues before issuing that final verdict. But we're getting close, Jeff.
We're so close.
Isn't it? Like, feel good? Like we're
after 2 years in.
2 years.
All this 2 years in, and we're so close. And we are actually going to prepare a special on the chain XRP lawsuit, or I should say, SEC v. Ripple lawsuit. We're going to do kind of like an anniversary show. We did that last year with John Deaton, and we had some other surprise guests that came on, like Jeremy Hogan and others, and we're going to plan another big event like that.
Another big event, yes, we will. I went to lean on my armchair, and it's like when you slip off, you look like you look like some kind of a moron doing that stuff. But the summary judgment motions, the expert motion challenges, and the sealing issues regarding the expert reports, the Hinman and other records presented by the SEC. And so this was Jim Filan said this. He said, why would Judge Torres slog through the expert motions and the sealing motions, and this includes the sealing of the Hinman documents, separately before deciding which parts, if any, are relevant to deciding the summary judgment motion? Asked Filan. And he says, I believe that she will decide everything together. It won't be until she rules in the motions for summary judgment, and it will probably be one big written ruling. And then he referenced the case involving Goldman Sachs, where Judge Torres addressed the same issues in one ruling. So there's the words we want to see. In the lawsuit nears end as parties file their final submission. So on December 2nd, which was Friday, both parties, they filed redacted replies to each other's opposition motions for summary judgment. According to Ripple's motion, the SEC opposition brief confirmed the defendant's motion for summary judgment should be granted. Yes, it should.
The SEC wants more time.
The SEC is out of their mind, Jeff. I mean, SEC cannot show that any offer or sale of XRP, much less everyone from 2013 to 2020, as it alleges and bears the burden to demonstrate, was an offer of sale or an investment contract, and therefore a security under the federal securities law. Ripple, which sued alongside Bradley Howes, I guess they're missing in the S there, and Chris Larson argued.
How?
So they said, this is our final submission where we ask the court to grant judgment in our favor. Of course, that's the British spelling of favor there. Always played it straight with the court. We can't say the same for our adversary. He wrote, the sentiments were supported by Ripple's Brand Garlinghouse. Man, there's all kinds of typos in here. We have Brad Garlinghouse and then Brand Garlinghouse.
What's going on with Brand?
I don't know. Yeah, and then Brad, remember we read that tweet where he congratulated the defense team for the efforts. Ripple stood strong, withstood the SEC's onslaught. I look forward to being on the right side of justice. And Jeff, I think you and I are looking forward to being on the right side of justice too, because how sweet that would be that you and I called it.
Man, it's going to be awesome. I'm really going to enjoy the steak dinner, specifically a bone-in ribeye.
It might just be a weekend dinner, Jeff. We might have to turn it into like what we just...
It's going to be a weekend. It's going to be a weekend experience. It's going to be a weekend extravaganza.
We'll have to live stream that, by the way. We have to set up a camera.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be a blast. We'll live stream it. Everyone will be able to enjoy and kind of partake in the festivities. And it'll either be at Burn Steakhouse, or we'll pick someplace down here in South Florida. I don't think there's any steakhouses in Orlando, so it's going to either be Tampa or South Florida. I'm sure there are in Orlando, but anyhow, really good stuff. And, as we get closer to this thing, I'm looking back 2 years, the SEC dropping all sorts of balls because they didn't have any to begin with. And so now,
there you go.
Now here we sit. And man, good things on the horizon for the entire space. Hey, why doesn't everyone give a quick shout out where you guys are tuning in from, which would be really cool? Why? Because we've got Ray the Muss coming in from New Zealand. We'll have to go through and say, hey, not a fuss. It's Ray the Muss.
It's Ray the Muss, baby.
Yes. Yep. And so I have to believe, where do you think Brian NY is from?
I'm going to go with New York, but
New York.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, Jeff, and I have been wrong.
I'm going to go with New York also. So I just want to throw up a couple things here. Here's a really good statement from Crypto OG. If Howie doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Ooh, let's put that on shirts. Oh man, Crypto G, bring it tonight, man.
Come on, we got to put that on a shirt.
Crypto G, if Howie doesn't fit, you must acquit, dude. That is strong right there. That's gonna make it onto some merch right there, baby.
We're gonna do that one ASAP. That's a good one. You must acquit. How do you like that? You like that one?
Howie doesn't fit, you must acquit. I love it. It's beautiful.
All right. So anyhow, he followed that one up with this one here. Sport coats are mandatory for the anniversary event.
Wow. That's it's bringing some pressure right there, man. I mean, just bringing some pressure. Some pressure, some pressure.
Sport coats, no shirts. There you go.
Bring in the pressure, man. You're bringing the pressure.
Oh, we got Atlanta
GA in the house. We also had the Philippines. I saw Philippines.
Darwin.
El Jefe from Punta Gorda. Ray Run in the Philippines. Look at that right there. Look at Jackie. Thank you for that, Jackie. 11.11. That's good luck, by the way. The 11 number. It means change and good luck. Love the channel. Guys, thanks for providing us stellar entertainment information. Well, thank you for supporting us. Otherwise, just be Jeff and I talking to each other, which is what we did. It would have been interesting if we could have live streamed some of the conversations we were having, because we started off going to lunch on Friday. Lunch is usually like maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour and a half. Well, we were there so long that they came by and they said, "You guys want to stay for dinner? Are you ready for dinner service?" Because I think we were there for 4 hours.
We were there quite a bit. Yeah. It was a good
thank you for that support. There was like at least 4 hours in, but I wanted to show some photos from the events that we did. This is the one from yesterday, from last night here. Have no fear. Have no fear. Look up. Look to the left and up, people. So this is interesting when you like start workshopping this picture. Did you notice that David Schwartz was sitting up there on the top of that van up there?
Oh man, yeah, he kept bouncing around.
So
he kept bouncing around, so I wasn't exactly sure where he was.
Yeah, so it was a good time had by all, and there's obviously blockchain backer, which we hung out with. It was so cool to hang with him, and I feel like we're pals now, man. I think like we are like.
That was very cool. Very cool to see. It's good to see people in person. You know, all this time you hear them on the, either hear or watch, or we've had blockchain backer on the show. We've talked to him multiple times, and to meet him in person was very cool.
There's Dirk over here. If you look over here, we have the white shirt over here, so that's Dirk, and Dirk is the one from XSpectre, the founder of XSpectre, sitting right across from him, right next between Jeff and I is Mao, and he's the one that modeled all the XSpectre agents. So it's cool to talk. It was fun to talk to him about it too. Like, we had some really cool conversations, and he was really digging, because he's from the Netherlands, so he was really digging the Southern food. We had some barbecue, and that was a lot of fun too. So that was like really a great time. This gentleman right here, he flew in from Los Angeles, and he's a big fan too. And then it's just a whole bunch of great people just all the way down this table. We were sitting outside in a warehouse district, which was amazing. So it was
very cool. We managed to get to a part of Miami that, there's a lot of parts that we probably haven't been to, but that was definitely one that we'd never seen before. And being in a warehouse district at a barbecue restaurant was very cool. Justin from Manhattan, Kansas. We're always gonna bring that one up.
Always. Big Manhattan, Kansas.
Look at that. Wow.
Wildcats were Big 12 champions. Yeah, baby. Yeah, it was cool. And then this one from blockchain backer here. Let's put this one up here. This was tweeted out, I think, Friday night. He said, it wouldn't be a trip to Florida without seeing Chip and Jeff from On the Chain. And there we are right there. Look at that. Here we are hanging out.
There we go.
And that was a cool place we were in because that ceiling was wild.
Man, all you guys were just too tall for me.
It was just wild, man. It was and Dirk's tall too, so it was like we're all just kind of like hanging out and that dude last night, he was like 7. What was he 6'8"?
Dude, he was at 6'8".
I was like looking up. I was like, it was crazy, man. So we had a really good time. It was really a lot of fun, guys. Just thought I'd share some of these images. Here's another one too that was shared. Just Dirk shared this one here, but let me go ahead and
did you already put this up from Jackie?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Oh, I love this channel. Thanks, guys, for always providing stellar entertainment and information. 1111. No.
1111. Yep.
Throwing it up again.
You can throw it up again, man. You know what we missed, Jeff? We missed the super chat,
missed something.
Dude. Come on, man.
Yeah, we did. Come on.
No, I'm glad you brought that up again because that's not right.
It is. We have to bring it up there, and this one, we got to bring this one a little closer to the top.
Can we just can we just do that? Let's see. Can we do that one more time?
All right, ready?
Do it again. Ready? Go for it.
Ready? All right.
All kinds of special effects here. All kinds of special effects here. But this picture up here, this is a picture of same one here. But look at this. Look how we're super excited right there. So Dirk's showing us something on his phone. I can't tell you what he was showing us on his phone, but I can tell you that it was pretty mind blowing.
Very cool.
I don't want to. Yeah, it was very cool. It was something very cool. It's nothing like conspiratorial or anything, but it was just like, hey, like, wow, check this out. It was like really cool. But it almost looks like one of these staged photos, Jeff. Like, and this was somebody had taken the photo. I don't even think we knew it was taken, but we were just like, but it looks like look, pretend you're looking at a phone and have a reaction.
Right. It does look.
Meanwhile, he tweeted this, and I was like, dude, who took hilarious. This photo?
That does look like a staged picture.
Yeah, it's
it's staged for was it for clothing or maybe for cell phones or something?
Yeah, it's like one of these like canned photos, right? It's like
exactly. I was looking at that's really interesting.
They're like, look at that.
And it was.
Isn't that crazy interesting? My gosh, that looks so incredible.
All right, here's another one from El Jefe. You guys ever been to Mai Kai in Fort Lauderdale? Last I heard it was
closed down.
It did close down. I don't think it came back, right?
I don't think it came back, man. It closed down, and yeah, I think the last time I was there. They had some pretty fun shows there and stuff. I was there with my kids maybe like 10 years ago, and then I was, it's a cool little fun place. It's all right. It's a good place, but
1111 is what the XRP will be worth after the verdict.
Yeah, it might start at that. I wouldn't doubt that. Don't doubt that at all. And we talked a lot about that too. We talked about pricing. Like, guys, what do you think's going to happen after the lawsuit? It was just like sitting back talking.
That's cool, man. This is a comment right here. Jim D, big supporter here on the chain, part of the on the chain community. You guys can support too. You see that little nice graphic. It's not as cool here on our software as it is when you're on YouTube. He's got a cool color to his little support thing there. It's green at this point, the green OTC logo. But anyhow, Jim D is having dinner, listening to cool music at a piano bar, and listening to us.
Well, look at that. We really do appreciate that. And check this out, too. So some more Ripple news here. Let's jump into it. So this is Matthew, LINY. He said the Ripple partner Thunes launched instant payouts to 1 billion Wixen users. Tencent, this is a collaboration to allow the members of Thunes global network to send international payments to Wixen users. And go ahead and open up the story a little bit here but there it is right there. And we've talked a lot about Thunes over the years. So Thunes has really been chatting a lot about them. So this unique link between China and the rest of the world. So that's where you're able to send payments into how many things need to pop up here, Jeff?
Way too many.
Yeah. So Singapore.
Click this, and eventually.
Isn't this neat how they say Thunes, a global cross-border payments network, announced that it partnered with Tencent Financial, Tencent's fintech arm, becoming the first payment infrastructure partner connecting with it. Collaboration will allow members of the Thunes global network to send international payments to Wixen. I don't even know how you pronounce that. I'm probably saying Wixen, Waxen. I don't even know. Probably wrong. So Wixen, the international version, is known as WeChat. That's how we know it. So WeChat's the biggest payment inside of China itself, one of the most popular ones anyway. And then the majority of the Wixen and WeChat, 1.3 billion users, Jeff. 1.3 billion, that's all. Concentrated in China. Now, new members of Thunes Global Network can send payments to these folks in China, creating additional revenue opportunities for them from a Chinese engineer in East Africa looking to send money to family back home. Because that's what generally happens, right? There's so many expats working outside of China. So
no, it is true.
There you go.
It is very, very true. So here's
Kelly Slade says Oric Christner's in Winter Park, steak and lobster. Dude, I'm starting to like steak and lobster a lot more. That's a good suggestion right there.
Winter Park is near Orlando.
Yes, it is.
So here's a question. Sophie was wondering if XRPP was there, and the answer is yes. XRPP was there.
Yeah, she was. I mean, he was. I mean, they were. I mean, yes. Yeah, that. Yeah, the funny part about it is
he was in attendance. It was very cool.
Yeah, I think we also talked about getting XRP
he was
coming on the show more. And it looks like, Jeff, looks like Blockchain Backer is going to be on next Sunday night.
Sweet. So we'll have Blockchain Backer next Sunday, and we'll have XRPP on with us Wednesday. And if we can bring him on a regular, we're thinking of bringing on for like one little short segment every Wednesday.
Yeah, like kind of making it like a regular part of the show.
So we talked about that. That'll be awesome. We'll have to reconnect on that one. But how cool would that be? I think everyone would love that. And yes.
Because we're big pals, and it's so it's so weird when you meet someone. Well, not weird. I should say it's so interesting because Blockchain Backer, Jeff and I talk pretty regularly. Mostly over like a DM group, but we kind of talk or bring something up. But after you meet in person, it's such a different experience. You get to hang out, get to have that sort of. And it was funny because we were chatting a lot, man. We were chatting a lot last night, and last night we had barbecue, and people are like, "Dude, I'm sure the barbecue in Miami sucks. It's horrible." I'm like, "Well, that's weird because nobody asked you for your opinion, but thanks for sharing. It's not as good as Texas." And I was like, "Look, I was in Texas a couple weeks ago.
It was interesting all the same.
It was good, right? I mean, and honestly, it wasn't about the food.
It wasn't bad. No, yeah, it wasn't about the food at all. We all had a great time. It was cool hanging out and everything. Justin was saying, I get price will rise on speculation post-settlement, but why after Ripple has signed a deal after deal with ODL globally, are we still sitting at 40 cents? I think it's also because, overall the ODL volume that they have is relatively small, which also shows that interconnection of what Ripple is doing currently and XRP. They're not the only player in town that's going to, everyone's sitting around. Every project they do, there's expectation of reward on it. ODL is just beginning, and ODL in general, we're going to see other projects, not just Ripple. And that's what it's about. It's how other projects are going to tap into some of the solutions that Ripple has been rolling out with ODL and, rolling out using XRP. So I think there's still a lot more. We're still in the beginning infancy stages of. The big part is the suppression, based on this lawsuit. And what the SEC did was actually artificially suppressing the price. And so that'll
and struck fear into the hearts of millions. And I mean, it put when you cast that kind of dispersion and doubt from a government regulator, and and it does have, in a weird way, it will have a negative effect worldwide, even though the rest of the world isn't crazy town. The rest of the world's thinking about this the right way. And for some reason, the U.S. fell into this bizarre trap here, which is just insanity. Boom! Look at that.
Get everything ready. Get it all ready. And it's hard to you gotta go down. I want to scroll, and we get to the good stuff. And oh, you want to do the Wahoo? Do the Wahoo.
Wanted to do it.
All right.
I'll give you the chat, man. Yeah. Hey guys, look forward to engaging with this great on-the-chain crew and the new Twitter space you recently spun up. Yes, we did. We did recently spin something up, guys. We created a on-the-chain community specifically on Twitter for people to kind of come in and join and we share tweets and share stuff in there. And it'll be growing, and right now, because of the weird spam, Elon Musk put a tweet out like, "Hey, I think we knocked the spam." I'm like, well, someone keeps spamming. It looks like Elon Musk. You're gonna win some prize. Like there's like 10 of them in every chat. So right now, invite people that are on the chain. Invite them. You guys, have the if you're in there, you have the chance. You have the opportunity to invite others. Let's grow this, and thank you for that, Rob. Really appreciate that.
What's strange is that I can't figure out how to invite from the mobile app. It's easy to go and invite. From the computer, it's harder to do it. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I do notice that. It's kind of weird. Bizarro world.
Bizarro world.
It's kind of like that when you look at it. It's just like
so I go to the members section, and then I can't find the right there's a share. And then we can go to copy the link, and there we go. I'm going to post that link in here. Go ahead, and you guys can check out this link. Should bring you right to there you go. There's your communities. If you click that link, you too can go and sign up for the new on the chain community that we're spinning up here on Twitter, which is pretty cool. A lot of great things on the horizons. We're also planning a meetup here. So we're going to
be planning something. Yeah,
we're going to plan a South Florida meetup coming up, and then we get some special guests over there. We've got a few that are already on board with the idea, and that'll be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that. That's something we got to work on here, and we'll get the word out. So there's at least like a 3-month ramp up, so people
something like that. Yeah. So Flare Community, another amazing YouTube channel. He says, I totally get that. The first ever meetup I had was with the Kingsman of the X-Toads project, community legend Johnny Lawrence, who we've had on the show. Awesome. A couple months ago, it was great to get a feel for someone face to face. And there is just something really great about it. And you really feel like a kid. You're like smiling and laughing. It's like, I remember, Jeff and I walk in, and there's Dirk and, his girlfriend and blockchain backer and XRPP. And it was just really cool to kind of like hang out. And it was about a year ago that we were at a XRP meetup in like one of these like WeWorks down in Miami last year. It was right around the same time with Matt Hamilton. We hung out with Matt. We're like driving around, driving here, driving there, getting some food. And it was just a blast.
It's a lot of fun.
Want to throw this one up here. This is
January meetup.
Jimmy Filan Stu Alderoty slaps the SEC contradictory statements about the Howey test. And Stu Alderoty, who's the general counsel over Ripple, said, follow the bouncing regulator. And look at this. So here's two contradictory statements. So the first one is from the SEC on April 22nd of 2021. They said, Howey provides a clearly expressed test for determining what constitutes an investment contract. Fast forward to December 2nd of 2022, they said Hinman's speech provided 13 expressly non-exhaustive factors that market participants could consider. The SEC is just lost the plot big time, Jeff. I mean, completely gone. Follow the bouncing regulator. And it's so funny how he calls them the bouncing. It's all over the place, the regulator. The enforcement arm of the SEC.
It's so outlandish. You know, right when you think it couldn't get more outlandish, it gets more outlandish. It's like one thing after another. You know, from the fact of how the SEC is, completely unfair in this case. But it's not just SEC v. Ripple though. It's a problem. It's a systemic problem within the SEC. But Ripple is, they're the 1,000-pound gorilla. They're the ones that they're after. They take down. Or they think, they're either slowing down or they're trying to take down. They're just trying to cause uncertainty in the marketplace, and that there's all sorts of problem written all over that. Even if they're trying to delay things and they're appeasing their friends in the, bigger, higher places, or if the government just got caught with their pants down, trying to play catch up at this point. When you look at that, there's not a lot of real coincidences out there, And so if you have this going on and at the same time you have the FTX drama going on, and then maybe you weave in some interconnection between what's going on with FTX and some of the politicians, man, none of it, it just doesn't pass the smell test.
This whole pass the muster, as they say.
It just does not, man. But where they're actually making some interesting movements right now, Chip, outside of just with crypto, when we're talking about, how about CBDCs? You know who's made a big move for CBDCs? India. India's ready. The e-rupee. And it's interesting how here, these guys have gone back and forth on whether or not they are going to, whether or not these guys are going to allow crypto or not allow crypto. But so for some reason, they're all over the e-rupee, and they're rolling this out strong, on the e-rupee. I forgot I didn't share the sound on that.
Yeah, share the sound on that. See, like that.
To unshare and then
tweeted that out.
Yeah. So,
but Jeff, you remember, it was almost like we could set our like schedule. Like every 2 weeks, India was outlawing anything with crypto or blockchain related. 2 or 3 weeks later, they're talking about it, and they're possibly considering to do some legislation. 3 weeks later, they're going to outlaw it again. And this has gone on for like the last 2.5 years. So this is a big development. The fact that this is actually here.
Yeah.
Who knows what 3 weeks will bring, though, quite honestly.
That's because it's bizarre.
Bizarre.
Oh, no, it's a different bizarre.
It's a different bizarre.
All right. Hey, check this out.
Do that full screen first. Full screen.
Oh, yeah. Let's go full screen.
Full screen.
Zoomed in.
There we go.
Screen.
Beautiful.
Goes live starting today. This means a sovereign digital currency becomes available to all of us, common citizens, from today. What does this exactly mean? Lata's here with the details. Lata?
That's right. It's a digital rupee that we are getting, a digital currency, and it is not a cryptocurrency. It's backed by the central bank. Basically,
she's right about that.
All right.
RBI has chosen 4 banks: SBI, ICICI, Yes, and IDFC. And what these banks have done is they already have sent emails to select customers and merchants. Now, they're also ready with their app. These customers, if they are, want to respond to that email, will download the app, get their SIM verified, and then they will be allowed to download a digital wallet, a purse. And then they will have to link that wallet to their savings account. Once they do that, they will be able to transfer money from their savings account to this wallet. It will come in the form of e-tokens. then
Stored
they will
on a
be
phone.
able to pay from that wallet to another person who is also chosen by the bank to have a
So
wallet.
exciting.
They can make payment without involving the
by
bank.
the bank.
They can
Yes.
also pay the merchants who have been selected by those banks. But for the merchants, they will have to
certain
use a
merchants.
QR code, which will be given
God, this is
to
getting
the merchant
confusing.
at the merchant locations. Now, you must think of this e-rupee as cash in your purse. Okay, therefore, one thing, it will not earn interest because you've withdrawn it from your savings account, and it will come in the same denomination, 5 rupee notes, 10 rupee notes, exactly as cash. It's going to be launched only in 4 cities, or getting launched in 4 cities. Mumbai,
It's a trial.
Bengaluru,
Yeah.
Delhi, and Bhubaneswar. And in the next few
interesting.
weeks, 4 more banks,
Mm.
HDFC, Kotak, BOB, and Union Bank, will join this closed user group. It's a closed user group. And
Yeah,
9 more
closed
cities
user
are
group.
also likely to get this. Ahmedabad, Gangtok, Guwahati, Hyderabad, or Kochi,
Hyderabad,
Lucknow,
yeah.
Patna, Shimla.
I
All
got you.
these will also be included. Now,
Wow.
all this is experimental. It's a pilot. So very few people
Experimental.
are involved in this.
You know, what's also
So,
experimental is
anyhow.
they can turn it off too. It's like, oh, you had what happened to my e-rupees? I'm sorry. You were doing something that we didn't agree with.
Yeah,
and
I'm
we
sorry.
canceled you. Sorry. But you know, what the hell? It's just a trial. And like,
But it's so
so
crazy. The whole thing is crazy.
you
You
know
got to
what they
move it
didn't-
from your savings account to your wallet on your phone,
and I
and
like
it
when
gets
she says
verified to
then
your
you'll be
SIM card.
allowed. You'll be allowed.
And then you'll
to
be allowed,
download.
right?
Thank
You'll
you.
allow-
Oh, please. Can I?
We'll
Can I
allow
download
you.
it? But what's Jeff? What they don't talk about there
In
is
the
like, okay,
world.
so how do you convert? Are you converting your regular rupee fiat into an e-rupee? Like, they didn't really address that. They say you get a
They didn't
wallet, you do
explain
this,
that.
you do all that, but it's like, okay, well, how do you actually fund the wallet? Like, is there a mechanism from going from your rupee fiat to your e-rupee? Like, it doesn't really talk about that. But anyway, look, it's a
Man, that was
pilot, and at least they're doing something about it. At least there's something.
they're
it's
one of the first. I'm kind of shocked, but but at the same time not. But you remember when they were taking away the big notes? Their objective in India has been to get rid of cash for the past couple years. They want to burn all cash, and they want to move everyone to the digital economy. A big part of it is that there's a large percentage of their population. That's why they're in such a rush. There's a large percentage of their population that lives cash. They don't have banks. They don't use credit cards. They have no way of checking their expenditures, and they have no way of collecting tax. So to me, this is, the urgency of this. The big spin is that it's going to be a big win for everybody. I think we've hit on the point of the central bank digital currencies, and people, and she even said it. This isn't crypto. This is controlled by the central bank. Okay, well, there you go. I mean,
He's right about that.
and chip. Then you move it over to your phone, and the phone has to be on the SIM card. I don't like the fact that it's on your phone. So if it's on your wallet on your phone and you lose your phone, now what? Do they? And maybe there's a backup, but I don't know. I mean, it's stored on your phone. Is that how is that where you want to keep your money, on your phone?
Well, the
and
whole
it's
idea
connected to that SIM card.
Yeah, and the SIM card too. That's the other thing too. It's like so it's like it's connected to your SIM card, and you were allowed to download this. It's like, do they need any more disclaimers about how they're going to track you and exactly make sure that they know that you are you, and they can actually shut you down, cancel you, or who knows? I don't know.
They
Send
want to
death
know
rays
what
to
you're
you.
buying, how you're buying it. I mean, the whole thing.
And people are always like, and this is so funny. Every time this comes up in conversation, be like, oh, you guys are just you're overdoing it. I mean, you can basically do that. Banks can do that now. They can, but they don't. But when the government has the power to pinpoint it like this, I'm a little bit kind of weird about that whole thing. I don't know.
So, Jim Dio, how cool. Link wallets to banks so they can dust your wallets with memo fields, having cipher links to databases on your balances and spending patterns. That's it. They want to know everything about you. Nothing at all to see there. Zero privacy. Don't worry. We're going to be watching you.
I thought this was pretty good, Jeff. You teased this a little bit in the beginning here, but David Joel Katz Schwartz, as he's now going by, he said, here's a quote: "I didn't steal customer funds. I just wasn't diligent in stopping myself from stealing them." Sam Bankman-Fried, probably, right? This is kind of like what's been going on here. And then you had Feed Lab say, "Is there such a thing as XRP II?" And he was basically highlighting this. I don't know what this is from, but it says effective AML program, XRP II, and the Ripple Trade MSB will implement, maintain, or continue to maintain an effective anti-money laundering AML program, risk assessment, other compliance measures as required by applicable law, including the Bank Secrecy Act and its implementing regulations. And then, of course, David Schwartz here. It's David Katz, Joel Schwartz, right? I mean, it's all mixed up here. He basically said that XRP II is the name of a legal entity owned by Ripple. It's similar to the way that Apple entities licensed to do Apple Pay, so all of Apple doesn't have to be regulated that way. So that's the whole thing with that XRP II.
Yeah, exactly. And people have questioned, what exactly is XRP II? How does it? What's the interaction, with Ripple and everything else? And there you go, a very simple explanation. They actually have multiple other entities out there. I thought that was pretty cool though.
No, it's cool. It's kind of because it has come up in the past, so it's kind of good. Sometimes just one succinct answer like that is pretty much all you really need. And Jeff, I thinking a lot about this Sam Bankman-Fried. I wanted to put this out here because Johnny Deaton said this here. Johnny Deaton put this up there. He's like, Sam isn't just a fraud, a liar, and a thief. He's the embodiment of evil. On top of all that, he's a really bad actor. His claims of being remorseful and being deeply sorry are genuinely insincere. And Jeff, read what he's commenting on there.
So what is this here? New SBF claims little knowledge of Alameda operations despite owning 90% of it. I mean, and you can't make it up. I was reading another article that said that he's now basically he has no money left and he has one credit card, and his father is no longer teaching classes at Stanford, basically because now he has to spend the rest of his career protecting SBF.
Boo-hoo.
And SBF is going to have to move back into his old bedroom. And his parents.
He's moving into a jail cell, Jeff. He's not moving back to any bedroom. His bedroom is going to have right next to with Bubba. Okay, that's how it's going to work. So then John Deaton said, I don't refer to Sam Bankman-Fried as SBF. The most accurate and appropriate, and just his initials are BMC. What does BMC mean? The Bernie Madoff of crypto. This is really good. And then I thought I would say, Sammy, this is my new nickname for him, Sammy the Scammer, ticks all the boxes. So if you want to see like sociopath signs, this is Sam Bankman-Fried. So it's like using intelligence, charm, or charisma to manipulate others. Check. Not learning from mistakes or punishment. Check. Lying for personal gain. Check. Impulsive behavior. Check. Lack of empathy for others. And doesn't feel guilt or remorse. And there you have it, Jeff. That's basically all the signs of a sociopath. And that's what we have in SBF or MCM, which is the Bernie Madoff of crypto, CMC, BMC. Gosh, man, I can't get that right. There you go.
But there you go. And so it's interesting, though. You're talking about the sociopath signs and, being a scam. And there's a lot more to it. There's no way this guy put all of this together. He's not a Madoff. He wasn't running this for, umpteen years. There was a lot of, there are other moving pieces to this that I believe we'll see. There were some, government actors involved with it, but, check this out. So Anna Sorokin says that Sam Bankman-Fried's media apology tour is a scam. He's just trying to save himself. And this is the girl that was, put in jail for fraud. And they said that she defrauded all sorts of people in New York out of money. And then she had her art exhibits and she was putting a gallery together. There's a Netflix movie about her life, and she was just released from jail recently and is now under house arrest. And I guess she had some art rollout. We missed it at Art Basel. There was like a secret gallery viewing of some new artwork. But anyhow, so if you have a scam artist coming out and and saying that there's another scam artist that he's just basically trying to save himself on his media tour, that's pretty revealing.
Takes a scammer to know a scammer, right? I mean, she's coming out saying like, and really, I mean, it's not like she's saying like, oh, that's so controversial. No, that's pretty much what everybody else is thinking. I wanted to play this. This is one of the Twitter Spaces. This is one of his first appearances, and somebody had recorded this, but I wanted to listen in. This is Sam Bankman-Fried here and the
yeah. So it sounds to me like
between futures and spot, where those were commingled,
right? That's right. Yeah. In general, balances were treated as effectively fungible with each other.
Okay. No, wait. I just want to just with that in mind, I just want to try and understand something. So I put money on. I want to deposit money into FTX. I deposit money into Silvergate Bank, which is United States Bank. I put the money into the bank. That money lands up in Alameda's bank account, right? So now you've got. Let's say I take $100. I deposit $100 into FTX. But what I actually do is I'm depositing into Silvergate's account on Alameda, and the account name is Alameda. So now Alameda has $100 of my money, and then I want to buy a Bitcoin let's say I put $20,000 in, and I want to buy a full Bitcoin. The money is. Tell me where the money is sitting now, though, because this is the part that I'm confused about.
Yeah, I'm not surprised you're confused because it's confusing, and it confused me, and there were a lot of poor decisions made there on our part.
So he basically admitted to commingling the funds, like customer funds, where he's not surprised that everyone's confused because he was confused. Dude, that's the straw man argument. Something mystical thing happened somewhere else, and all of a sudden Sam Bankman-Fried has nothing to do with it. It's like the culpability here is just incredible, Jeff. I mean, it's ridiculously, it's almost sickening. And he keeps incriminating himself everywhere by doing these stupid things. I mean, I love it. I think it's the greatest thing ever. He'll show up in court cases.
Yeah, everywhere he goes, everything he says, it's outlandish. But look at Anton, at least saying, is anyone doing an audit of their accounts? All the transactions are recorded on blockchain and could be tracked. I mean, there should be a trail of everything they've done, even if they've moved it into, fiat, in or out of, there should be some trail. But it's crazy, the stuff that he's admitting to, and why wasn't there audits done beforehand? And then you've got Kevin O'Leary still, wants to come to this guy's defense.
That's the kind of scariest part. But look at this, Jeff. I mean, just tell me if there's any weird thing going on here, because maybe not. It could just be a quinky-dink, a coincidence of sorts. Maybe it's nothing. But let's take a look at it. Let's see if this is something. Let's just take a look. So here it is. In April 2022, Representative Maxine Waters, who's the chairwoman of the Financial Services Committee, she took a trip to the Bahamas to meet the office of the Prime Minister, right? The Prime Minister there. Here's her agenda item: cryptocurrency. That was the reason she made the trip. So here's a photo of Sam Bankman-Fried alongside Waters and his dad, Joseph Bankman. Bankman is involved in an FTX pre-collapse. Then you have the Financial Services Committee, Dems, announcing an investigation into FTX. And there we have it right there. So there they are right there. Let's get this here. This is them exchanging gifts. The Prime Minister Davis and Congresswoman Maxine Waters discussing matters relative to the relationship behind, but maybe cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
This was April of 2015 or 2022. And here we have Prime Minister Davis added that Maxine Waters, chair of the House Committee on Financial Services, visited the Bahamas the previous weekend to discuss crypto, among other agenda items. So it's probably nothing, Jeff. It's probably just a coincidence of sorts.
Yeah, and there's no such thing as a coincidence.
He's like, yeah, come on, man.
That's considering the fact that they have not taken. I mean, think about how asinine this is, right? So Maxine Waters is the chairwoman of the Financial Services Committee that has had multiple bills in front of her, namely the Token Taxonomy Act over a period of a couple years, to where we could have brought some regulatory normalcy in the crypto space. It gets sent to the Financial Services Committee where it goes to die. Every single time it's been introduced, it's gone there to die. And she has not brought it up for discussion. So then she takes a trip to the Bahamas to meet with the president or prime minister of
Prime Minister of the Bahamas, yeah.
Prime Minister of the Bahamas. And so she's there to talk about cryptocurrency, and yet she won't even take it up in her own committee in the job that she's being paid to do. She's not being paid to go to the Bahamas and talk to them about cryptocurrency. She's being paid by her constituencies, because they're the ones who elected to put her there, to talk about cryptocurrency in this country. That's being introduced in front of the committee that she chairs. Not for long. Come January, she'll have to find another job. But it's crazy, right? It's like so irrational. So is it coincidental that she was there and Sam Bankman-Fried's in the Bahamas and all of this? I mean, maybe, she could have done two things on one trip, but the fact that, SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, and his dad are having pictures with her. How is the dad and his mom involved in the growth of his company? Because they definitely had a lot of connections in the political industry. Let's call it. Man, again, there's just
by the way, this guy JagoeCapital wrote this amazing. Like, I was just scrolling through it, but he wrote this amazing tweet thread that just goes on forever. But he said the CEO of Goldman Sachs, David Solomon, met with Sam Bankman-Fried to help FTX get regulatory approval. And here's a photo of Alameda CEO, Caroline Capital's dad, Glenn Ellison. You can see he's kind of out of the picture here, along with the top Goldman Sachs lawyer, with one of the wealthiest corporate lawyers in the U.S. Then you've got Joe Bankman, Stanford professor, ex-Stanford professor, dad of Sam Bankman-Fried, cited in a lot in this 2018 document called Tax Compliance in a Decentralized Economy. Oddly, just before Sam and FTX arrived onto the crypto scene, right? Kind of set the stage. And we talked a lot about this. Like, look at the timing of this. Then Bankman was working on a new IRS tax filing system. And at least his dad has normal hair, right? He looks like it's like a normal kind of a dude. But there's Joe Bankman. And then the mother, Barbara Fried, is a professor at Stanford and bundler for the Democrat Party campaign contributors. FTX launched 13 days after Biden announced the campaign. There's nothing going on here, Jeff. Sounds all perfectly normal. Just some real weird coincidences. Impeccable timing for the rise of FTX, just in time to be the second largest donor to Joe Biden.
Look at this picture of him. That must be like an old picture. Go scroll to that picture that you just had of him there, right?
This one?
So that's Sam Bankman-Fried, right? And then that's Sam. Wait. There's a resemblance, but doesn't quite. It maybe gained a lot of weight there. But sorry, hit the wrong button. But look at that and that. That A and B. Man, what?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Well, also happier times too. You're just the footloose and fancy free. It's so convoluted. And so there's another theory going on right now that Caroline Ellison, somebody saw her in New York getting coffee. So the theory is that she might be rolling over on Sam, kind of like maybe trying to do a plea bargain of some type to kind of roll over on him.
I'm sure.
Save yourself first.
Oh, number one. That's why that Anna Sorokin saying he's just out there to try to save himself, gamer for life. And this is the one part that nobody seems, the government, we talk about Maxine Waters saying, oh, thank you, Sam, for agreeing to come in and blah, 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 and helping us, but Gamer for Life saying it's a crime to receive stolen money. If you had no idea it was stolen, law enforcement will seize it anyway to return it to the rightful owner. So why is law enforcement not seizing the money given to the politicians?
So
tens of millions of dollars, if not more, because maybe some of we haven't tracked.
So this one, Jeff, some of the best things that have come out of that are the parody ones. Now, somebody made a great image the other day of Sam Bankman-Fried with a pot belly, maybe aging with a big beard in a prison cell.
That was Orlando Bloom. That picture that you had.
Oh, was it Orlando? It did kind of look like
Orlando Bloom. It's not.
Yeah, I know, but it kind of looked like a little bit, yeah. So somebody put this up. Zico.eth put this up. He said, "Hey, here's Maxine Waters' office phone number," and then he said, "Here's the go ahead and email Kathleen.Sens@mail.house.gov with this photo that their office isn't aware of. If you have more photos of Maxine Waters at FTX ad placements elsewhere, send them to me." And this is an ad that says, I'm in on crypto to make a global impact for good. It's got Maxine Waters with the Sam Bankman FTX shirt on, right? But it's not, but obviously it's not real, Jeff. But it's funny.
No, it's not real, but
it is some funny parody there. It looks like it does look semi-official, but
semi-official.
I'm in on crypto to make a global impact for good, because people were saying like, Sam Bankman-Fried could have ended climate change. He could have ended hunger if it wasn't for those damn, Scooby-Doo investigators, right? I mean, like looking under stuff, it's like they would have gotten away with it had it not been for those shysters, man.
He's going to end world hunger, making sure that everyone becomes vegan like he does. And they keep those vegan real eggs in the refrigerator with all that meat. Remember that?
And Jeff, I just got some bit of bad news here. Wow. A little bit of bad news here, but I saw rest in peace, Bob. And it looks like Bob from Sesame Street has passed away at 90 years old. So there you go.
What did he do?
Bob McGrath. He was on Sesame Street. See, there's him right there. He was one of the characters, I guess, on that show. I don't know. Anyway, just thought breaking news. Breaking news, Jeff.
Man,
he was 90.
Sesame Street was really cool when we were young, and then it got really bad.
It's a good life, though. 90 years old, man. Holy cow.
That's pretty good.
It's a good life, right?
Pretty good.
It's a pretty good one. Also, too, Jeff, I wanted to put this up here. So someone left a good comment.
New sitcom, Sam Fried and Sons. So he had William Whitmore left a really interesting question on one of our videos. He said, if you buy real estate on the blockchain, do you have a private key to the title of your property? He says, does that mean that anyone can repossess, foreclose, or seize your property if you do not give up your key phrase to the blockchain? Now I'm talking about a complete purchase of a property that would be paid in full. I understand probably the keys of ownership may be held to transfer under the contracts, but that's where it gets a little bit tricky. Like the transaction can happen on there, but it's not like cryptocurrency. You're recording the transaction on the blockchain. There's the value of it. You know what I mean? There's no keys. Like your crypto to where there's the actual cryptocurrency. The actual transaction is recorded on the blockchain and it's public. But he does bring up a good point, though. That is interesting, sort of the kind of way to look at it. Do it as an NFT.
Yeah, that's why if you do it as an NFT, keep it in your wallet. If you lose your NFT, you lose your house. What do you want? What do you want from?
And that was a comment that we got on YouTube.
It was a YouTube comment. Yep.
From the last video, yeah.
Somebody left that on there. I thought it was
William
Whitmore. I think, yeah, Whitmore. That's it.
William Whitmore. Oh.
So this man. Let me share this one here, Jeff, because this is another Sammy the scammer.
Are you putting up the video?
Yeah, I'm gonna put the video up here. So let's look at this here. So here it is right here. But look at this right here.
Chiller.
Look at that face right there. Right?
That one's crazy.
Well, let's look at this here.
Transfer it from FTX wallets after bankruptcy filing. And there have been accusations that this is the assistance effectively of theft. It was suspiciously, in quote,
like, the body language is so weird here. But the smiling
after the bankruptcy filing. And there have been accusations that this is the assistance effectively of theft.
Like that last look is very telling, like where he looks up there, right? Theft, Jeff. I mean, how this guy is still like doing interviews and being treated like royalty is absolutely unbelievable. It really is on another level, Jeff. I have zero. Go ahead and play the Stephanopoulos one.
This is from Snuffleupagus.
He asked actually a legitimate question here. It was like some shocking journalism that happened here. It was really bizarre.
Some real journalism. And this is a short clip, right? This is 137 through 155, so it's short. Let's see.
FTX went bankrupt is because FTX deposits were used to pay Alameda's creditors. Carolyn Ellison said you knew about that. Is that true?
Best I can tell, Alameda did have a big position open on FTX. That position, I think, was very over collateralized a year ago, there is a total market collapse, and specifically a large correlated collapse in its assets, over the last month, and to some extent over the last year, that threatened that position quite a bit. And I think that's, as best I understand, a lot of what happened there.
I am no cryptocurrency expert. I'm no finance expert, but I don't think you answered my question. I was asking, did you know that FTX deposits were used to pay off Alameda creditors?
I don't know of FTX deposits being used to pay off Alameda creditors. Are you?
Well,
which creditors are you referring to?
Carolyn Ellison said that you all knew that these funds were put into Alameda. They were the funds owned by your depositors.
This is brutal.
So I can't speak for who knew what. A lot of the customers on FTX did have, borrows either, in dollars or Bitcoin or euros.
But as you know, the FTX terms of service tell the people who signed up, none of the digital assets in your account are the property of or shall be or may be loaned to FTX trading. But you're saying that happened.
My understanding is a few things happened. The first is there is a margin trading facility on FTX.
Man, this is just brutal.
Brutal. Sorry, I was a little bit heavy on the buzzer, but it was just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, Chip.
Just unbelievable. My understanding, what does that have to do with the question, man?
Right. He was going into this whole question. He's like, my
understanding, there was a margin trading. Okay, great. Right. That's fantastic. Right. I also understand that the offices had 2 restrooms.
Yeah, that's right.
Had restrooms, Jeff, too, and they had a front door and a back door. And I think the back door is the problem. I think that back door is
I understand there was a gym in the office building that you were at.
Yeah, he goes,
and a pool on the roof.
Right? This. What is up with this guy, man? But that was some very bizarre journalism that happened there. I was like almost shocked. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, real journalism. So Laura was saying SPF is a great actor, Academy Award winning.
He's not a good actor. Like John Deaton called it. He's not even a good actor. It's so ridiculous that he's lying through his teeth.
But it's crazy though, as he's starting to think and he's like trying to repeat the question. He's going to answer. Does he, is he that good at lying, or does he actually believe that somehow it's okay that, he messed up, the company didn't do the right thing, they were using all their customers' funds? Does he not see what was wrong with that? Was the guy just, or has he been told the entire time when they started the company 2-3 years ago that don't worry, we're going to be there to bail you out if anything bad happens, and things bad happen, then he's the one left holding the bag.
Oh, look at this, Jeff. Nobody can get so much wrong in 26 seconds. This is Mr. B, Nick Birifano. So here it is right here. This is amazing. Listen to this.
And I have to disclose, I'm a paid spokesperson to FTX and a shareholder there too, because we mentioned them, and big advocate for Sam because he has 2 parents that are compliance lawyers. If there's ever a place I could be that I'm not going to get in trouble, it's going to be at FTX. So, they're great people, but he gets the joke on compliance, which is why he's working so hard to get regulation. And I have to disclose, I'm a paid spokesperson.
Now, obviously, Jeff, this happened prior, obviously, right? But here it is right here. I'm a spokesperson, and I'm a shareholder, and I'm a big advocate for Sam, and his parents make me safe, and they're great people, and Sam gets compliance and Sam wants regulations. 26 seconds. That is unbelievable. What nice job with that from Mr. B. Love that.
What do you think? What year was that from? Was that like this year, 21? Was that in 22?
I don't know. He was probably at a conference somewhere that he said that. Who knows exactly where, but
I mean, it's so crazy. That Kevin O'Leary, and some of the commentary he's had on crypto in general is he's in favor, then he's against, and then he's kind of dancing around. Of all the different exchanges that he could have got invested in or, been supportive of, Kraken, Coinbase, Uphold. I mean, there's a Gemini, and there's a whole bunch of great exchanges that he could have shilled for. And FTX is the one. You know, it's interesting too with FTX that they threw all this money around and they put their names on all these different stadiums. Yeah, and they put their name on the Formula One cars and all of that. Man, all sorts of issues, Chip. All sorts of good things too, because you know what? At the end of the day, we have the best and the brightest in all of crypto space gathering here with us here on the chain.
Yeah. Yeah. We sure do, Jeff. They're the best. They're the absolute best.
Yay.
The absolute 100% best, man.
Yay. That's really cool, Chip. Let me throw this up here one more time. This is the link to the On the Chain community, so you guys can go check that out. Go ahead and join up to the On the Chain community, and man, we'll have a lot of fun over there. It's going to be a large community. It's going to be the best community. It'll be by far one of the greatest communities over there. So we've got 5 new member requests over there: Legendary, ASM Future, Crypto G, Earth Angel, and Flare community. Everyone just got approved into the new On the Chain community.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We've grown it in a short period of time. Man, we're ready for the next one.
Yep. So, guys, that's it. We'll see you guys on Wednesday night. Have a great week, and we'll be back here. We'll be having some fun. We'll be doing some stuff. I want to also thank everybody who contributed comments, and also for everybody with their support, either being a member of the channel or by the super chats. Thank you very much for those tonight as well. Appreciate it.
Yeah, big shout out.
And that's it. That's all we got, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Chip and Jeff out. See you guys.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.